Welcome, everyone. I'm so delighted to have you here. Welcome to the Rich Experience. We gave this event that special name for a very specific reason. And the reason is because we would love for you to experience all the good you desire, everything that you desire. And if you listen up, you will discover just how to do that. So how many of you came here today for a specific reason? There was something that you had in mind. Earlier, we asked that question, actually, the royal we, that's Roddy, asked the question, and he asked the early birds, why are you here? What's your outcome? What is the objective for your attending today? And a number of people started to type in answers, but we have a lot more on the line now than we did 10 minutes ago. And I'd like to ask you that question. What are you hoping to get out of this time that we are here to invest together? I'm going to give you the best of what I've got in the period of time that we have together, but I'd like to really serve you from a place of what's your desire? What is it that you're craving for or desiring? All right. I really have to manifest, says Dawn. Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Well, you're in the right place for that. Continual motivation. Keep up with my seagull. I love it. Carol. Well, Carol's definitely someone who's committed to her seagull. Seagull, for those of you that don't understand what that is, that's a term that Bob Proctor used to use. Now, I prefer to use the term stretch goal. Stretch goal is a goal that stretches you beyond anything you've ever done before. And the reason for that, and why I love to call it a stretch goal, is because it brings out a greater and grander version of who you are, because he or she is in there. That person, that powerful person is in there. Nancy says she's here for inspiration. I love that, Nancy. We're happy to have you here and looking forward to inspiring you. All right, great. Mayura says, I want to create the life I don't need a vacation from. Oh my goodness, is that not perfect? Yes. Who else would love to create a life? Let me take off the spotlight here and look at the gallery version. How many would love to create a life that you do not have to take a vacation from? Perfect. Okay. That is beautiful. Now, why would you be living a life that you don't have to take a vacation from? Because you're doing what you love, because you're enjoying every day, right? So how many of you believe, and I want the honest answer on this. I'm going to come back to the other answers in a moment, but I want the honest answer of this. How many of you believe, oops, there we go, Roddy. Can you mute all except me?
What?
Let's mute. Let's set it so that we need to unmute me again. Okay, so now it's set that they cannot unmute themselves. So how many of you believe that's possible? To have a life that you don't have to take a vacation from? And me, okay, says Sherry Ann. Okay, who else? I do. Perfect. I do. Yes, 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 says Jane. Perfect. Nick, me, yes, I do. All right, good. Well, that was the answer I was looking for, of course. Of course. All right, we're getting hands raised here. Mayura, you have your hand raised. And I'm addressing your, oh, you're probably raising your hand because I asked the question, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, you can put your hand down now. We will be asking you a little bit later to raise your hand if you'd like to have some coaching. It won't be private because we're here with a lot of people, but we'll definitely be doing that during this event. I am here to serve you in the best way and highest way that I can. Okay, good. So the reason why I asked is how many of you believe that you can actually live a life that you never desire to take a vacation from, is because I want to know if it's possible. You don't have to know how. This is the greatest lesson I've ever learned about living a rich, abundant, and full life, is that you do have to decide. You have to decide what you would love. You have to determine what that's going to feel like for you. You've got to build the belief system, but you go straight to the feeling and let the universe figure out the how, right? You've got a partner. You all have a partner, a wonderful partner who says yes to all of your feelings, says yes to anything and everything that you desire. And when you understand that and you decide that you're going to work in harmony with that partner, then you'll discover the power that you have within you to truly live the rich life. Oh, thank you, Marissa. That's so sweet. I love it. That's so beautiful. Stephanie says, believe, definitely me. I know it's possible. I believe it strongly because I can feel it. Stephanie, that is brilliant. And that is such a profound statement. When you believe something, you will feel it. But here's what I want all of you to know. If you don't believe something right now, if you don't believe that you're destined to live a rich life and you're not feeling that, that's okay, because you can build the belief, because your belief is like a muscle. It's a muscle within you. It's an emotional muscle that makes an impression. It makes an impression on your body and actually has you vibrating in a certain way, in a very specific way that will actually attract to you everything that you desire. All right, so let's go back to why you are here. And I want to point out a comment that we received earlier from Val. Now, if you haven't yet typed in why you're here, what you're looking to get out of this, please type it in the chat box right there. Okay, so Val wrote, she says, how do I not let my present circumstances affect me manifesting my goal? Can anyone relate to that? Anyone relate to that their present circumstances? Yeah. All right, that's a very honest answer. So I thank you for the honest answer. We're going to get to that, Val, today. Absolutely. I'm going to address that and help you understand how you deny the evidence of the senses, which is a statement straight out of Neville Goddard's material. He is the author of The Power of Awareness. And I want to explain how you deny the evidence of the senses, how you do it in a way that effectively has you not allowing your present circumstances to impact you in a negative way. You see, the truth is this. The truth is that you are in control of how you feel, and you are in control of what you think. Now, you're going to be hearing some things here while we are together that may influence the way you're thinking and may influence the way you're feeling. But the truth is, it's up to you. It's up to you whether you're accepting it or rejecting it, because in your conscious mind, you have that ability to accept or reject. Now, my suggestion would be to accept it. And the reason why I say that is because what I'm sharing with you has completely transformed every area of my life. And I say that with all the sincerity in the world. It really, really has. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in the Rich Experience. So let me go back to my comment section here. Yes, Palash, there will be a Q&A. Okay, Mary says to become more aware. Do you realize that becoming more aware expands your consciousness? You know, I was at an event speaking one time. It was a Bob Proctor event, and a question was asked. And the question was, how do I accelerate the manifestation of what I desire? Now, I'm going to ask you that question. I'm going to see how many have the answer to that question. But what I'm going to share with you in the story is what Bob Proctor said to that answer. So the question is, how do you accelerate the process to manifest the things that you desire? Okay, let's see what the answers are. All right, we're getting all kinds of great answers here. To tune into my intuition, or maybe that was the answer to an earlier question. All right, Mena, raise your awareness. Love that. Yes, Lydia, visualization. Pam, release and believe. Khalid, to learn how to match my dream with my emotions. Oh my goodness, I think we're preaching to the converted here, Roddy. That's beautiful. I love it. Let's see. I am here to live my life in ways that I've given the opportunity I would love to live again. Beautiful. John, more gasoline. Hey, John, good to have you here. That's wonderful. Study. Okay, feel as though it's already done. See it and feel it. Expectancy, says Tony. Tony's a great student. He knows this stuff. Feel that you already have received it. Have a solid belief. Juliet, stillness is the access point to acceleration. Oh, I love that. Vibration, see and feel from the end. I'm accelerating right now, says Marissa. That's so true. You are manifesting right now. Everyone is. Andrea says, visualize and believe. Lady Yvette says, auto-suggestion. Dilek says, believe it. Lisa, through mentorship. Oh, I like that one, Lisa. Repetition, says Connie. Great answers. Raise your vibration to match your desire. Harmony with the vibration. Decide to do it. Match to the frequency. Focus on what you want and visualize. I want to keep my dreams at the forefront of my mind. Okay, study. All right, well, the person that answered the question study is exactly what Bob said. That's what he said. Now, all of those other answers are absolutely bang on. They're all important. They definitely lead you to manifesting what you desire. And it certainly is easy to say it. And some of you have an expanded awareness, and that's very obvious. I can see it's obvious from the comments here on the right-hand side. But do you know where the greatest challenge is? Do you know why people stay stuck? That's what I want to ask you. Why is it that people stay stuck? They have the understanding, they have the awareness, but they're not getting the results that they want. Why is that? Why do you believe that is? Type in some answers here in the right-hand side of the chat box. No action? Yeah, absolutely. Paradigms? Definitely. We get in our own way? Yes, absolutely. Lack of action? Yes. Habits? Definitely. Limiting beliefs? Application of the study? They don't take action. The law of Goya, says Sabina. Yes. Application, lack of discipline, afraid it'll happen. Interesting, Mary. I like that. Not in the right vibration. Okay, definitely. Too comfortable to move. Yes. Not persistent. Absolutely. Unaware of subconscious thoughts. Tootie. Right, Lydia, because they let go of the goal when they see no results. Right on, Lydia. Lydia, what do you do for a living? You got a great understanding. Many of you do. Not in the right vibration, not understanding themselves, beliefs. They don't take action. They don't believe. They curse themselves. We get in our own way with our own paradigms. Yes, Tammy, you're right about that. Doubt, no understanding, no image, bad attitude, limiting beliefs. Hard to believe that what they may actually be possible. Right on. May not really be in the spirit of it. Okay, well, you get the idea, right? This is part of the reason. So in answer to Val's question, which is really relevant to everything that we're talking about today, the reason why people do not accomplish their goals is those reasons. They are the reasons. They're absolutely the reasons. But what I'm going to do for you today is really simplify that. Simplify it so that you get a deeper level of understanding. And I know many of you have been here before. I'm seeing lots of familiar faces. And I know there's people here that are in many of our programs as well, but they're back and they're back. Why are they back? Why are they attending an event that we're doing, a free event, when they're already involved in some of our higher end programs like Skipping Levels or MSI Entrepreneur, MSI Author, or Destiny Coaches? We've got a number of our Destiny Coaches here as well. Yes, Diane. Yes, Tina. Yes, Carol. Yes, Tony. Yes, right. Tony's a great example of that as well. Repetition. Repetition is the key. This is the reason why I went to seminar after seminar after seminar after seminar. And even though, I was invited to speak at Bob Proctor's seminars, and we ended up delivering seminars together, we did programs together, I would just soak up every word that he would say. Why? Because what happens for you, especially those that have been here before, and those of you that are in our other programs like Club Achieve as an example, the thing is that you're expanding your awareness. And I like to think of yourself as having these layers of beliefs that are already all around you. And this morning, before we started our Club Achieve class, we have this program called Club Achieve where we study together every day, 5 days a week. And I was talking about the story of the Golden Buddha. And you may or may not be familiar with this story, but the lesson in it is so valuable. And the story goes that there was a golden Buddha that was so incredibly valuable, and it was made out of gold, and it was a giant statue. And at one point, because there was a fear that the golden Buddha would be stolen, what they did was they put mud and clay all around it to cover it up, to hide it. And centuries went by without them even realizing that this Buddha was there. I mean, there was a statue there and it was made out of clay or whatever. So at one point they started doing something. They were moving it, I believe, and there was a crack. There was a crack in the Buddha, and there was a crack in the clay in this outer layer that they had packed on top of it. I want you to think about your beliefs or paradigms as being something that's been packed on. I'm talking about the negative, the destructive, the paradigms that hold you back. They get packed on, right? How do they get packed on? They get packed on by repetition, by hearing things over and over again. You're taking in information all the time. And by the time you're a young child, your paradigms have already been built. They're solid. They're already there. And so if you have a layer around you, like that golden Buddha did, that's clay, how do you get to that inner core, that power that's within you, that golden version of you that is so incredibly valuable? Well, you sort of peel it off, right? You make that choice. And this is part of what repetition does. So with the golden Buddha, what they did was they saw through a crack, there's something really special under here. So they started to crack off the clay and take it away. And they discovered this amazing golden Buddha that was there. And you know what? It had been there all the time, just like you. That power within you to manifest your every desire, and I mean every desire, is already within you. It's not something that you go get. It's not something that I'm going to give to you. It's something that you will become aware of, and you become more and more aware of it, of your power, when you are in the study and stay in the study and take action. So it's not only the study, because the truth is you could be studying all day long. You could be studying every day of the week. You could be studying until you're blue, but unless you take action, it won't mean a thing. Now, the truth is, when you study, have the understanding, and then apply, that's when real magic occurs in your life. And there's a quote that goes like this, and I heard this quote many, many years ago, and it was Bob Proctor who said the quote, and the quote goes like this: magic is the opposite of life. With magic, when you know how it works, the magic disappears. But with life, when you know how it works, the magic begins. So the rich experience is about showing you that you have the power to create magic in your life, that you have the power to manifest your every desire. Now, it's going to take some effort for sure. Definitely involves repetition, and repetition of the study, repetition of the application. You see, the truth is this. My life began to change in January 1979 when I first met Bob Proctor. But I was almost thrown into a ballroom and told I had to attend an event. Now, I suspect all of you came here willingly today, yes? Yes, nobody threw you into the Zoom room. Nobody made you come here today. You chose willingly to be here. Well, back in January 1979, that wasn't the case. I was told I had to go to the seminar. Now, fortunately, the speaker was Bob Proctor. And it was that evening that Bob said a couple things. Well, he said many things, but there are a couple things that really stand out, that really made a big difference. And one of the things he said was that people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. Now, that's a direct quote. And that quote really means that a lot of people, they have the desire, just like we're hearing here today. They have the desire. They would love to make the changes in their life. They would love to manifest more riches, as an example, better results, more fulfillment, a greater sense of peace. And ultimately, I'm not stating things. What I'm stating is, when you think about a goal, it's not really the goal that you're looking for. It's the feeling. It's the feeling of you having, doing, being, or experiencing the goal that you are really looking for. Isn't that fascinating? So the truth is this: if you just choose to feel as if you already have that which you desire, you're in manifestation mode. That's what I love to call it, manifestation mode. But because you've already been programmed a certain way, the challenge becomes in breaking the old habits and creating new ones, replacing those old habits with new ones so that you're building the beliefs, also known as paradigms, that support you in the accomplishment of your dreams. But what happens is, as you're doing the work, which is applying the knowledge, as you're doing that work, what's happening is you don't see the results right away. You're not seeing it. You see, when you decide to manifest a goal, you may wonder, how long is this going to take? You won't know how long it's going to take. You see, we don't know how long it takes for a goal to manifest into form. We know how long it takes for certain seeds to manifest into physical form, but with goals, we don't know. And so quite often what happens is people they underestimate how long it's going to take for them to do a goal, to accomplish a goal. And so they begin the process of determining what they would really love to have in their life. They follow the steps meaning that they choose to feel as if it's already in their life now, as we saw with many of the answers that were written out here before. And they break the old patterns so that they're feeling as if what they desire is here, and then they don't see it in their life. And they get to a point where they doubt. They doubt the whole process. They start doubting themselves. They wonder what they're doing wrong. Has anyone been there? And I'm holding up my hand and leaving it up there because I've been there. I've absolutely been there. Yeah, of course. That's simply honest. Thank you for being honest with me. It happens. It happens to almost everyone. I don't think I've ever met anyone who hasn't gone through that experience. Like I remember, and I wrote about it in one of my 20 books, I remember having an experience of thinking, after I studied these materials for many, many, many years, this stuff doesn't work. I reached that point. Now, was it the stuff? Was it the material that didn't work? Or was it Peggy? It was me. I was in my own way. That's not a criticism. And what I'd love for you to get really good at is being an observer, not to criticize yourself because that doesn't serve you whatsoever, but just to be an observer, to notice. Notice if you begin to feel frustrated. It's not happening, Peggy. Like I've been doing all the work. I've been thinking about my goal. I've been feeling the connection to my goal. I've been living in harmony with it. I listen to my Power Life script every day. I do my affirmations. I do my gratitude, but nothing's happening. And they get frustrated. Well, what's happening is this, that they're moving forward, meaning they are moving in the direction of their goals, but then they move backward when they start thinking it doesn't work, when they start feeling like this is not happening for me. So it ends up feeling like you're going forward, you're going backward, you're going forward, you're going backward. And of course, if that's what's going on, you're not ultimately seeing the results that you want. And so what you must do, and this is really what Val had asked early on before we, when we started this event, is how do you get to a point where you actually stop looking at the results, but stay in harmony with what you desire? Okay, so here's how you do that. You want to know how to do that? Number one, understand it is your responsibility. You are the one that's in charge of how you feel. You're in charge. Nobody else. No one else is going in there, sneaking in through your ear and coming out into your belly and going, this is how you're going to feel today. No. You're in charge of how you feel. You're in charge of how you think. Nobody else is causing you to think or feel a certain way. So you take responsibility for that. All right. And then what you have to do is you have to condition yourself to be in the habit. Condition yourself to be in the habit. I suppose some of you are taking notes, and if not, I absolutely recommend it. To be in the habit of feeling as if that desire that you have is already there. It's already there. It's in your life. It's there now. Now, where is it? You can't see it. You can't touch it. It's in consciousness. That's where the outcome resides. The outcome resides in your consciousness. And through repetition, through impressing these thoughts and feelings over and over and over again, by habitually choosing to feel that way, as if it's already in your life, you will make it manifest. So that's the second thing that you do. And then you want to use tools, or what I love to call disciplines, to create or invoke the feelings of having that which you desire. There's a book that I have here on my desk, and it's a book that we studied in Club Achieve, and it is one of my absolute favorite books of all time by Neville Goddard, called Feeling is the Secret. And there's a line in here, there's a huge amount of incredible value in this particular book, but there is one particular line in here that really is relevant to what we're talking about today. And it's a line that goes like this: mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. So how do you stay in harmony with? How do you stay feeling as if what you desire is already there? By mastering your thoughts and feelings. And there are a number of ways that you can do this extremely effectively. And there are certain times during the day that are more impactful as far as influencing your subconscious mind than other times of the day. And that is in the morning, first thing when you wake up, and in the evening before you go to sleep. When you're in a relaxed state and you're laying in bed just before you drift off into sleep. So how you do that is through meditation. Or listening to audio such as your Power Life script, so that you're far more open and receptive to receive at that time. Now you can blend a meditation by creating a softer version of a Power Life script. Now, does anyone not know what a Power Life script is? Does anyone not know what that is? Yes? Okay, thank you. Thank you for being honest. All right. A Power Life script is a process that I created back in the middle of the 90s. And I've trademarked the name. It is a process that I personally created, and it works like this. We actually have a program called powerlifescript.com. You can find it there. Power Life Script is where, first of all, you decide what you would love. You decide what you would love. Anything that you would love. Would you love to sail around the world? Would you love to have millions of dollars or whatever currency you have in your bank account? Would you love to have perfect health? Would you love to have your soulmate in your life? Would you love to own a dream home or several homes? Would you love to run your own successful business serving the world? Yes. All right. I love the victory move. That's awesome. What would you love? You first decide what you would love. There's no limit, by the way. There's not somebody saying, whoa, wait a minute, Anne, that's enough already. I mean, you got a big list there. Nobody's saying that. The universe is saying, Anne, whatever you want, you can have. Anything that your heart desires, anything that you can think of. And the fact that you can think of it means it's possible. Except those things that are within the realms of nature. So the fact that I could think of going to the top of the Empire State Building and jumping off and flying and landing safely in New York City, that's not humanly possible. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there is a way to do it. By the way, I don't want to do that. I'm just using it as a bizarre example. But the truth is, you can have anything that you want. You have to decide what it is that you want. You have to make the decision of what you want. And then once you've decided that, what kind of things would you be seeing? What would be the experience of that? This event is called the Rich Experience. Experience is about experiencing something where you have an impact of emotion. You see, your emotions play a big role in your life. As I mentioned, feeling is a secret. This is what Neville Goddard says. So if you can create the vision so that you are in the experience of living this amazing life in a written format, and you're also talking about what you now believe, now that you've done it, and you record it so that you can listen to it every day, that's a Power Life script. And it's really a personal choice. It's a personal thing. So whenever you're writing a Power Life script, you basically start by writing out all the things that you would love. That's the first part of it. Then you write down some things of experiences and what would you be seeing and what would that feel like? And what do you need to believe in order to have that in your life? You write out that as well. Now that, what do you need to believe, could be a very personal thing. And it may be different for one person than it is for another. And so you have to decide, what do I need to believe in order to have this in my life, in order to have this result, in order to be living my life the way I'd love to be living it? What do I need to believe in order to have that? Now, don't get in your own way when you're going through this process, because what's going to happen is there will be somewhat of a battle going on. And the battle is really the old way of being, which involves the old programming that you have, which is what your beliefs are and where your paradigms are. And they start, putting up a battle. They start to pull you back. Why? Because your beliefs will support you. Now, that's actually great news. Why it's great news is because when your beliefs support you, your beliefs are going to support you in the accomplishment of anything and everything that you desire. And so if you're not currently experiencing a rich life, this was called the rich experience, and some people assume rich means money. No, rich is about fulfillment, is really what it is. So if that's what you desire, what would that feel like for you to be living that kind of life? And you become very clear. What do I need to believe in order to? Maybe it's that it's possible for you. Maybe that it's already done. Maybe part of the belief is that you have the ability to do it, that power is within you. Or perhaps the belief that is important for you to build and to have is that you're worthy of it. You're absolutely worthy of it. You see, a lot of people are their own worst enemy. And what I would suggest is become your best friend, your own best friend. We're always so kind to our best friends, right? People we love. Think about the way you treat your children. For any parents that are out there, unconditionally love your children. And you say things, what? To help them feel better. But yet there's a dialogue going on within your consciousness, an inner dialogue that's going on. And it's going on all the time. And you have to notice it. You have to become aware of it and just choose to really love yourself. Love yourself. And perhaps that's part of what you need to or would love to add to your Power Life script. So what I've discovered is this. Because you're already programmed and conditioned in a certain way, which is exactly what happened for me before I met Bob Proctor. I had a very, very challenging upbringing. I bless it now. There were many gifts in the experience now. Didn't feel so good at the time, but it's, lessons learned from the experience. So when I heard Bob Proctor quoting Vernon Howard, and he said, you cannot escape from a prison unless you know you're in one, I realized that I was in a prison of my own making. Many people are in a prison of their own making. You could be right now in a prison of your own making. And that prison is lack of awareness, and it's holding on to old destructive beliefs that are not supporting you. And the only way to change your life is to change what you put into your mind, what you choose to put into your mind. And what you put into your mind are only ideas, only thoughts that are in harmony with what you desire. And because you are a habitual creature, you're a habitual being, you will tend to think the same way over and over again. You may even say things and have the words come out of your mouth going, oh my goodness, I just heard my mother. Has anyone had that experience where you say something and go, I just heard my mother, right? But it came out of your mouth. Why? Why did that happen? Because you heard your mother a lot. It may not have been your mother. It may have been someone else. It may have been a guardian. It could have been someone who was very important in your life. Could have been a significant partner that was in your life, that you were open to what they were saying. But maybe the relationship wasn't a strong one. Maybe it was an abusive one. I've seen this time and time again. I haven't had that experience, but I've seen it with other people, and they tend to believe it. It's like they're smart, they're a good person, but yet somebody keeps telling them over and over and over again. And even if it's a lie, you hear something enough times, you will start to believe it. You will start to believe it. And that's why the Power Life script works so well, because of the impression it's making on your subconscious mind through repetition. However, it must be done effectively. It must be done in a way that really serves you and your outcomes. And therefore, when you're creating scripts, your Power Life script, or you're creating statements that affirm the life that you would love to be living, a rich life, they must be written in the present tense, as if that is your life now, as if this is the way you're living your life now. All right. But you may say, well, I don't have the money in my bank right now, or I don't have that in my life, or I don't have a partner, or I'm not living in my dream home, or struggling right now, or don't even have a job, whatever. Just don't give that any thought. Don't give that any energy. You must deny the evidence of the senses. That does not mean that you ignore your responsibilities. That's not what that means. It simply means that you give your conscious energy only to what you desire, and you stay away from anything that creates a feeling, that you allow to create a feeling of discomfort within you. Because anytime you're feeling discomfort, which is negative feelings, you're in a destructive mode. It's as simple as that. And so when you recognize and take responsibility for your emotions, and you realize that that visa bill that just came in has no control over how you feel, and crying over it won't do any good. I remember Bob Proctor saying, don't cry over anything that won't cry over you. Will the mortgage cry over you? Will the rent cry over you? Will that visa bill? Will the loan? Will the doctor's bills cry over you? Nope. None of it's going to cry over you. So why are you crying over it? You don't cry over something. That's negative energy that keeps you residing in the same energy. You're attracting based on how you're feeling. And I know a lot of this, at least it did for me in the beginning, sound real simple. It is simple. It's absolutely simple. There's no question about it. It's very simple understanding. But the reason why more people aren't manifesting what they want is because they're not creating these practices as their daily practices. They're not living it. You've got to live this every single day. You got to be standing guard at your mind. You got to be aware of how you're feeling. And then you choose to get in harmony with this version of yourself, this future version of yourself, and live the way you desire to live emotionally first. And when you do, your results will manifest into form. They'll absolutely manifest into form. And I know, because I've transformed my life and I've watched thousands of people transform their lives, from people that I've worked with. Before we got on our call today, as I was preparing for today, and if any of you know me or been to any of my seminars, like I see Connie and Alan here, they can attest to this. I never do the same seminar twice. As a matter of fact, you notice I'm not using PowerPoint right now. I created a PowerPoint presentation for today, but I decided to open up to the universe, and whatever needs to be said is going to be said. And it's just flowing right in and to and through me for you. So I'm getting guided by what I feel you need to hear today that's going to help you, right? That's why I'm here, is to help you. But I can't do it for you. I can take you by the hand and I can take you so far, but whether you do it or not is really up to you. Like I remember when I first got an email from Vladi Canova. She is on our team. And Vladi, if you're open to this, the universe is guiding me to bring you into the spotlight. And let me bring you on into the spotlight. And I know Vladi is a beautiful, beautiful woman who's here to serve. As a matter of fact, she calls everyone else beautiful or handsome, right, Vladi? And Vladi, if I think back to a couple of years ago, about 2.5, I think it was, when I first received an email from you, I probably still have it in my inbox right now, but I remember receiving your email. And we get a lot of emails every day. And I don't read them all. I'll do my best to read as many as I can. Usually Roddy's the one on top of all of it. Thank you, Roddy. But this particular email had come in that day. Roddy wasn't yet with me at that point, but this email came in and it got my attention. There was just something about it that got my attention. And Vladi, I feel that at that time you were in a challenging place. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I was. Yeah, and I remember writing it and even wanting to go out with the kids, and I nearly pushed that away. You know, when you feel inspired to do something, and I was actually watching Bob's webinar and saw Peggy, and I was like, I have to contact her. And then, you know, like I made these excuses. 3 times she came to me, and then I really listened to my intuition. I thought, I need to do it right now. And kids were screaming. They were by the door, said, Mommy, you said we're leaving. And I was construing the email, but I was at the place of dissatisfaction. And I love Peggy talking about desire all the time. But for me, it was actually dissatisfaction that pushed me out of that place I did not want to be. I knew I didn't actually at that point know what I wanted so much or so clearly, but I knew what I didn't want. And that is actually a good starting point. I knew I had to really divert from where I am because I just did not like the spot. And then I like this push and pull effect. Desire pulls you, dissatisfaction pushes you. Desire pulls you, dissatisfaction pushes you. I call it my push and pull effect. And it works all the time.
I love that, Vladdy. That, you know, we're looking at a version of Vladdy that was there 2.5 years ago, but she wasn't expressing herself, not the way she is today. So what contributed to that?
Study, and really by studying and understanding and applying the materials, I was creating everything. Really, every area of your life starts improving because you grow confidence through experience and challenges. And let me just tell you guys, failure is part of a success. You cannot be successful without. But the way sometimes we look at failure is like feeling, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not really worthy of this. And it's just not true. It's there to stretch you, to expand your awareness, because if you don't do that, how do you want to actually go up and move up? It's through the challenges. But I say inspired action, and I thought, no, I'm writing that email. It was the 3rd time came to me. And if I didn't, I perhaps may not have pushed myself to do it. Like, don't look around yourself and give these circumstances and conditions and anything around you, don't give them your power, because the highest version of yourself is actually what you can do. The lower version of yourself is that tiny voice going, you can't do that. How are you going to do that? You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You don't have enough money. I mean, how many of you can see the list of excuses that just come, and they fast, you know, they coming so many. But the higher version of you chooses to say, nah, I'm going to give it a go. And you don't have to know how. I love that from Peggy, and Peggy knows it from Bob. So it really is a great lesson. But finding someone who knows how is just say yes to yourself. If there's something you really desire to, how many years, and that was my point. I thought, like, I wanted to join Peggy 5 months ago, and then I kept making excuses of money and everything. And 5 months later, I still didn't have the money, and I still didn't move quite a minute. And I thought, I wasted 5 months. I don't know how much time I have. And because of my scare actually issue, that I really pushed myself. I was not going to take a chance of any year. And I thought, I'm doing it now. And that is why now I love decision. You know, when you make a decision for a future, I love this subject, Peggy knows. It's a fantasy that you believe you're going to be someone else next month. Someone else, and it's just a fantasy. If you really know what you would love now, you make the decision in the now. Even if you don't know how you're going to make it happen, how the money is going to come, children, energy, time. Actually, time is becoming a huge commodity. But what I really love is I've learned how to use time efficiently. And that's why I love how many things I can fit in a day, because it's part of the study, actually. It's part of the disciplines and part of the prioritizing and focusing on what really gets you to your dream. So I love studying. I love being with Peggy, co-serving with Roddy, Annie, and Kayla. I haven't seen Annie and Kayla, but I'm sure they're here. And, you know, it's just, you wake up in the morning and you are happy what you do, and you do what you love. And it's priceless. It's priceless. I just love it.
It sure is. I love that. You know, you mentioned a couple of things here. I was taking some notes. And I want to talk about these points because they're very important points. And Vladdy, I really appreciate you for sharing that. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us here. She talked about the push-pull effect, right? The desire pulls you, the dissatisfaction pushes you. I like that. I think that's really a cool idea. You know, I heard that dissatisfaction stimulates growth. Not always, but it certainly can. It certainly stimulated my growth. And you said something that reminded me of the experience when I saw Bob Proctor that evening. And I realized that this gentleman knew something about success I didn't have a clue about at the time. And I decided to invest in his program. He had an 8-week program that he offered at the end of the evening. I was in debt. Like I had 5 or 6 credit cards, almost all maxed out. And even when I gave my credit card to pay for this event, I was thinking, hope it goes through. You know, it was those days where they weren't always checking it, right? So, you know, they put it through a machine, and sure enough, I got signed up. Felt the discomfort with that, but I decided I'm going for it anyway. And I'm so glad I did, because that was really a turning point, right? You make the decisions, and you're already feeling the change. But Vladdy said something. She said, failure is actually part of success. And you see, the word failure is a word that if some people hear it, they may think of that word as a negative word or as a word that doesn't feel comfortable. But what if you looked at it differently? What if your perception was a little different? What if you just looked at it and said, you know what, that's just helping me grow or contributing to my growth, or there's a learning experience in this, and what can I learn from it? And then move on, right? Like just move on. Now, Vladdy, you said you had sent 3 emails. So did it take 3 emails before I responded?
No, I was going to write it 3 times. And first time I just said, I'll do it next time. And then the second time I'll do it next time. And the third time I thought, it's coming to me. And I really strongly, Peggy knows, believe in intuition, like intuitive guidance. I don't have to know why. I feel something strongly, I won't go or will go for it. And that third time really stood out to me, going like, feel the sign, and I'm ignoring the sign. And that's why I really took a responsibility. I was like, this came to me 3rd time. So I'm getting a sign here, and I need to take an action. And that's what I did.
Yes, the universe sends you signs all the time. It's like a nudge, right? A little nudge. And that happens when you decide that you're going to make a change, like a positive change. And you had said that in the beginning, what you're really looking for was more of, you know, getting away from what you didn't want. You had a scare, you had a health scare at that time. Now, even when you said the word health scare, I was thinking, didn't have to be a scare, because, you know, could have been just a blessing, a health blessing, we could call it, right? It's like when I talk about what occurred for me last year, I call it my health challenge. It was a challenge at the time, but a wonderful growth opportunity. And I remember many, many years ago, I went through a divorce, and I had, at that time, I had said it was my greatest, you know, my most painful life experience, but my greatest learning experience, right? It becomes your greatest learning experience as well. So that's good. And
I say to people, like, don't wait for something bad to happen to actually make it a turning point. I mean, I did that, but there are so many days you can just decide right now, this is not working for me. I'm just not simply doing it, because habitually we just fixed ourselves into a zone which we feel that we're comfort, but that spirit wants to grow. And, you know, like everything really works out the best way. Everything's working out for you right now, exactly the way it should.
I like that. Well, that's true. Exactly the way it should now, because we are creative beings. We're all creative beings. So what's occurring in our life right now is not to be judged, simply to be observed. Are you happy with it? Is this something that you love? Was this a clear intention of what you wanted to create? And if not, say, okay, what you have right now is a brand new day, a brand new opportunity, and an opportunity to make a decision to change the trajectory of your life. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with your life, or that your life's a mess, or you are. It simply means that as a human being, and we all have this, there's a desire for more. There's a desire. It's very natural. I don't think any of you would have come here to the Rich Experience if you didn't desire more for you, for your life, right?
And I love the attitude, guys, you know, like the studying the materials. What I love is, it's not that the things will stop happening to you, it's how you start responding to them. You respond to them differently, and everything's different because you're in a different vibration. And we love this subject with Roddy, but even when 2 years ago, there was people said, what were the 5 most important things that changed? And gratitude and taking responsibility are the first 2. Take a responsibility for your feelings, thoughts. You don't have to admit it to anyone else but to yourself, but like sit down and say, what does this mean to me? What beliefs do I have about money and success? And actually, I'm good and I'm great speaker. And whatever statements you make, what beliefs do you have around that? And I love Peggy, I will type it later. And Peggy actually says this all the time. I'm so happy, grateful, and knowing now that I can create and accept a new belief instantly. I've been using this. When I create a new belief, I actually love this affirmation.
I would modify that slightly.
Would you?
Rather than can. There's a difference here. This is a difference. And I thank you for sharing that. So she used the word can. I would change it to I am. Why? Because am is active. Can is future, or it's possible future. So read it again, but use the word am instead of can.
It's funny, I don't have the can on the note.
Interesting.
I'm so happy, grateful, and knowing now that I easily accept a new belief instantly. That's why I have.
There we go. Okay, perfect. That was great. I love that, Vladdy. Thank you for sharing that. She used the word easily. You know what? Ease is a choice. You can choose to have your life be easy. You can choose to have your life be hard. It's absolutely up to you. Do you realize, Vladdy, you know, Vladdy, you know me, I listen for words, right?
I love you for doing it.
And so earlier, here's what you said, by the way. I wrote this down. Everybody's going to love this. They're going to enjoy this.
Grateful.
Before we started the call, you and Roddy were having a wonderful conversation. You were talking about a number of things, and you said, it's not always easy. And as soon as I heard you say that, I thought to myself, what if it was, Vladdy? What if it was easy? You know what that reminds me of? I remember many, many years ago, I was having a conversation with my good friend, Gay Hendricks. And Gay Hendricks was a client first, and then he became a friend. And then we ended up co-delivering seminars together. And Gay and I were chatting, and he said, let me ask you this question. He said, are you open to having your life go well some of the time? All right. So Lady Yvette will repeat that in a minute, but let me ask you guys. So we've got 235 people on the call right now. I'm going to ask all of you this question. This is the question that Gay asked me. Are you willing to have your life go well some of the time? He asked me that question. No. Well, I answered yes. I said, yes. Yeah, I'm willing to have my life go well some of the time. Sure. And then, okay, you guys know where this is going. Look at all the brown nosers. They know the answer. They know where it's going. Okay, but there's 3 questions here, okay? So, okay, Lucy, Carol, you guys know. Well, you asked, says Jamie. No, I didn't. I asked you if you're willing to have your life go well some of the time. Okay, so then he said, are you willing to have your life go well most of the time? And then I answered, yes. And I wasn't as smart as all you guys. So then he asked the question, are you willing to have your life go well all of the time? And you guys get this, right?
Quantum leap thinkers here, yeah?
Yeah, lots of quantum thinkers here for sure. And so he said, are you willing to have your life go well all of the time? And you know what I thought in my mind? This is a trick question. That's what I was thinking. There's a trick question here. And I didn't answer like as fast as I did with the other 2 questions. And he asked me the question, and I was silent for probably a few seconds. I was thinking, is it possible to have my life go well all the time? That was what I thought. And that was the question that I asked myself, and immediately had the answer. Yes, of course. Yes, Vib. Yes, of course, it's possible to have your life go well all of the time. Right. And so that was a wonderful experience. So when I heard you say, it's not always easy, I was thinking.
And I love Peggy for doing it. When I was actually with her in Canada, I said sentence, and I remember, and I said, when when I will go there, and she just points at everything. So when you're next to Peggy, you know, you have to be really careful what you're saying all the time. My thinking was longer, my saying was slower, but that's what is a great part of being actually in a study groups, because she not correct, she's lovingly telling us what's the right way to say that. And you become consciously aware of it more often. The more often people tell you, I'd love to be. When I came here 22 years ago, I didn't speak English. And I used to say to people, please correct me every time I say something wrong, because otherwise I'll never learn it properly. So I wanted people to correct me all the time. Sometimes people just don't feel, but it's a great way to grow.
Yeah, I love that about you. And you know what that is? That's a sign of strength. That's exactly what that is. Vladdy is totally open. So am I. If I said something and I do it, right, I'll do it myself sometimes. Yesterday, we were doing our class, our first class for MSI entrepreneur, MSI author. I think I did it at one point. I stopped myself and corrected. Remember, Michelle? I think I did that, right? Yeah, I'll do it too. Like, we're human. Now, even as I'm about to say those words, we have incredible power within us, absolute exceptional power within us to manifest. And, you know, one of the other books that I'm studying right now is this book, The Secret of the Ages by Robert Collier. And, you know, he's one of the authors, and there's many authors. This is another book that we're studying right now in our Club Achieve, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And in The Secret of the Ages, you know, Robert Collier talks about this incredible power that we have. The power is there. He said, all of us are dynamos. We're all dynamos. He said, the power is there, unlimited power, but we must connect it. We have to connect it. We have to give it work to do. So what does he mean by that? It's like your subconscious mind. And for the power of the subconscious mind in our study group at Club Achieve, 2 days ago, Vladdy was actually doing the class for me because I was away that day. And it was a little section in chapter 1 where Dr. Joseph Murphy was talking about, if you think of a ship and there's a captain, and the captain's, you know, directing the ship, he's deciding where the ship is going. He's got a course of action. There's a plan in place. And he's telling the guys down in the steam room, you know, this is what you need to do. They don't question it. They don't say, hey, Captain, you're crazy. Like, we can't go there. We can't do that. And that's what the subconscious mind does. The subconscious mind takes instruction. It takes instruction from the conscious mind. You direct your subconscious mind. You tell it where to go. And what a lot of people don't realize that they're doing is they're continually directing their subconscious mind to go in the directions they don't want to go in. They're heading up against the rocks. I mean, they're going to crash. It's going to be disastrous. And they don't realize it. Again, not a judgment, simply an awareness. We simply need to be aware at all times. And the way that you develop the awareness, like, I see such a transformation in Vladdy. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring her in here to share with you, is because in a relatively short period of time, she has transformed her life. And it wasn't long before I realized I want to co-serve with her. I want her on the team here to serve others. I'm here to serve people. That's why I was put on the planet. I believe this is my mission. This is my purpose. I don't even have to work anymore. I love what I do. I love it. It's like that statement in the beginning. You want to do what you love, where you don't ever feel like you want to take a vacation from it. I rarely take vacation. Ask the guys, ask the team. It's rare I take a vacation. And ask my husband. he'll tell you as well. But when you're doing what you love, you don't want to take a vacation from it. But Vladdy, you know, I brought her on the team because of her heart, because of that desire. Vladdy isn't here for what Vladdy can get for Vladdy. Vladdy is here to give. And it's the giver that actually gets in this world. That's not why you give. That's not why she gives. She's not here to give so she gets. She's giving for growth. She's giving to help another, because as she helps another, she helps herself. And again, that's not why she does it, but she's doing it and it's happening. And her growth has been extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.
Thank you. Thank you, especially for my growth. I absolutely love it. I love, and you know, guys, it's just a yes. It was just, I really decided I just want a better life. And it's as easy as the one simple decision that will get you to I call it the point of no return, because if you really make a committed, irrevocable decision, and the reason I call it the point of no return is because it's my favorite song in Phantom of the Opera. And actually, it's called the point of no return. You made a decision and you just keep going. You know, you don't just turn back saying, I give up.
I love the Phantom of the Opera. I'm going to see it in New York City on the September long weekend. Wow, that's amazing.
Think of me at that song.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be singing that song later. You know, the point of no return, that was so valuable, Vladdy. And, you know, for those of you, when I see the room filled with our serious students and, you know, those that, you know, are continually in the study and investing in themselves, I see Michelle up there and Tony and, you know, a lot of familiar faces, Marielle, that, you know, we're very blessed to serve. I mean, I could sit here and mention names all day long. Letty is on here as well. And of course, Connie and Ellen, I've already mentioned. And, you know, you get to a point of Bertrand as well, and Carol, and of no return, where you are changed. You've changed, right? You've transformed yourself. And do you remember, and if any of you have ever watched Bob Proctor, and he talks about, and once you make the change is permanent. I can still see the slide, you know, right now, and the change is permanent. You see, you've changed your paradigms. You've changed the way you think. You've changed the way you feel, and it becomes a way of being. And that's ultimately what you want to create. And so creation in some ways may seem backward. It may seem a little backward, where you decide in advance what you would love, and then you determine, what do I need to believe in order to have that? Right? And then you have to, you know, determine, what am I going to feel when I have that as well? And then you have to go straight to feeling, and you have to build the beliefs, and then you have the experience of it, the rich experience of it. But it's going to take some work for sure. It's like Lady Yvette wrote, a mind stretch will not go back to its original form. Yes, absolutely true. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Vladdy. I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us.
Appreciate you too.
You're so sweet. I really, really love and appreciate you so much. You know, I am so blessed with working with the most amazing people. And, you know, we may hear from Annie, we may hear from Roddy as well, if they're up to it. I won a few battles, a royal battle, says Michelle. I love that. That is so cute. Hey, Michelle, do you want to share a little bit about that? Should we bring you in the spotlight? Are you open to doing that? Yes, why not? She says, okay, let's bring her down. Come on down, Michelle. Now, this was completely impromptu. We did not plan this. I did not put words in your mouth. That's not sanitary. But tell me about that. What are the battles that you've won? Oh, let me help you with that. There. Okay, you can unmute now.
See, now you can hear me. That's really good.
That works so much better that way, doesn't it?
It really does. You know, this is not the first time I've been exposed to this material. We in the 80s were learning some of the preliminary materials. We read Think and Grow Rich, but we were climbing out of a hole and learning to be married and have kids. And then you have 3 kids, and then all of this happens. So recently, however, I have become aware what happens to me is, I call it divine intervention. Like, I don't know how I put this nonprofit together, but all of a sudden the idea was there. We found the place, bought I had no idea how all this happened. Now I can look back and tell you, but I had no idea at the time. And so then I find Bob Proctor and Peggy, and I start learning how to do this deliberately instead of haphazardly, which is about what happened to me. I could do it, but I didn't know I was doing this. I didn't know how to manifest deliberately. And so we have really applied this to the space that we're in. And one of the cutest things so far is, I want horses. I went to a horse camp at age 10. I've loved horses my whole life, but never had the money or the space. It's like rich people, it used to be peasants owned the horses and the rich people owned the cars, and now it's the other way around. So I didn't have the money. So, but that's been a lifelong dream. So I attached that to my list of things I want to manifest. And I said, well, you know, the thought came to me from the universe, well, if you're going to have a horse, you really ought to relearn how to ride. This made sense. So a few minutes from the house, there's a stable yard there. She does training, she does camp, and I go down there and I start riding. In the meantime, I agree with Laddie. I am reading every day. I'm listening to the power script. I'm trying to do my affirmations. I'm trying to be very disciplined on a regular basis with the repetition it takes to change my thinking. So I'm feeling myself change this whole time, but I had no idea. I go down there and I decided, yeah, she was good. I'm going to take lessons. And there's this one horse there who I met probably the second time I went, and he's a halflinger. And so I was really intrigued with this horse. He's really something. And so I started looking on YouTube. You can learn at YouTube University. And I started learning about halflingers. And so yesterday, when I went for my lesson after our big class, I started talking to her about halflingers. And she said, well, you know, I'm thinking about selling, what's his name? I want to call him Alistar because that's the name of the hero in my fairy tale, but that's not his name. Arista, which means gold. And so I find out he's registered, and yet she rescued him from a kill camp. I mean, it's a rescue horse. He's adorable. So I said, well, don't sell him until I make up my mind. So I think the universe has picked out my horse for me because he's used in this stable for riding lessons and camp lessons, which makes it cheaper for me to pay for him there. It makes it easier to make the transition. I want him here. I want my horse in my yard, but we don't have a horse yard yet. So I don't care. That doesn't matter. It'll work. And this is just the latest. I could write a little black book about all of the divine interventions that happened from the time I established and founded this nonprofit to today. It's unbelievable what power your passion, which is a feeling, not just what you picture in your head. As an art teacher, I picture a lot of things in my head, but thank God most of them don't really exist after I draw them. But when you have a passion, that causes a feeling which communicates to the great universe what your feeling is, and it comes to you. And I'm just beginning to be aware of how to do that process and still be patient in whatever time that's going to take. And it's usually me. It's usually me. I have a huge amount of growing to do. It's really exciting now, though.
I love
changed
it.
Everything.
I love your attitude. Someone is asking, how long did it take? It didn't take that long at all. I mean, it was a thought. It wasn't a thought that you've had for a long period of time.
No, I mean, I decided maybe a couple of months ago, that maybe 3 months ago, that I really wanted horses. And this used to be, no, you'll never own a horse. We're going to put a horse. How are you going to afford a horse? You can't even take care of it. You're going to hire somebody to take care of it, which is true. This is part of what we need. We need the stable, and we need to clear the land. We need to build the fences, and we need somebody to take care of the horse, because I can't do it. It's just not a place that I can be. So that was all there until a couple of months ago, and bang, now but then again, some things take longer, I guess. I'm not looking at the time.
It's a belief, right?
It's a belief. I just know
what we're hearing are your beliefs. That's what
I'm going to watch
your
them come
beliefs
in.
were.
I taught art for 40 years. I should know how to manifest by using my imagination.
You know how to manifest.
This is different, though. This is more exciting.
It is very exciting, and you're manifesting. Like, you mentioned earlier about the, that when you manifest deliberately, for the foundation as an example. And you said it just like, it's sunny outside today. And like, that was incredible. I mean, it was an incredible manifestation.
I still can't believe it, because we managed to get this legally founded in 6 weeks. And people are looking at me going, it's been taking me 3 years and I still can't do it. I have no idea. The idea came and I did it. And this was before I started training. It's just amazing what can happen. And,
what's happening. It's happening because you're doing the work, Michelle. Like, that's why it's happening. It's happening because you're doing. I want everyone to understand that.
It's not work.
I love that. Work. I love that. It's fun. It's fun. It's such a great way to approach it. I believe this is a big part of why you manifest so quickly, is because of your wonderful attitude, because of your approach. You also talked about, didn't have the money. You said a couple of things that really remind me of great lessons for everyone here. Here's what I want everyone to understand too. When you think about doing something or having something in your life and you think you don't have the money, you've gone straight to the place of how. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Right? You don't have to know how. Just keep telling yourself, I don't have to know how. Your responsibility is to feel as if it's already done, and to get in harmony with that, which means you're consistently feeling it. And what Michelle said also was she was patient, right? She was
not in my nature, but I was.
What if it is in your nature? What if it's now in your nature? Would that serve you? right? There's Peggy going with the language like this.
That's okay.
Is the
You're
way.
correct. I stand corrected.
This
You know,
is the way to
I
build a
learned
relationship.
this really hard because in 2000 I was misdiagnosed, but I was in a wheelchair, and they told me that I would get worse and not better. And I decided then that I did not like that diagnosis, but I still had to go through the process of correcting the damage that had been done. And so
Right.
now I'm walking and I'm going to ride a horse. And that was not something money could buy. That was something that only my vision and my attitude and I'm not going to stay here, kind of like Laddie said, this is not a place I want to be.
Right.
And so it's been a long time, but here I am. And so I've had both sides of it. The money has come in and the health has come back, and I can relate and attribute both of those things to my state of mind.
That's beautiful. You're amazing. I want to thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for being willing to share. Check the comments out afterwards, Michelle. You're going to see lots of love coming your way.
I love it. Thank you.
Lots of love, lots of appreciation. That was incredible. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, everyone. I want you to know that, you know, as I said, that wasn't planned to ask Michelle if she'd be willing to come and share, and willingly she did. And so many great stories, so much inspiration from her example. And, you know, she mentioned the word trying. She did say, oh, I'm trying to. She's doing it. So that is the difference, right? There's no try, there's only do. You know, what movie was it? Star Wars or something like that, that said that. And isn't it fascinating that the horse that she's looking at buying, Arista, I believe you said was the name, means gold. How perfect is that? Like, wow, that is exceptional. I also want to mention something else about Michelle. You know, Michelle is in our Skipping Levels program. She's also in our brand new program, MSI Entrepreneur, MSI Author. This is a program where we guide people to create the life that they don't ever need a vacation from. And if you're interested in finding out more about those, we will put the link in the chat box for you to connect with either Vladdy or Annie. Now, where's Annie? Annie, where are you, my little beauty? There she is. Annie, are you willing to come on into the spotlight?
Sure.
Sure, she
Yeah.
says. All right, Annie, thank you so much. So we'll put a link there for anyone that would love to chat with Vladdy or Annie. They're very willing to chat with you about, you know, things that we have, offers that we have. One of the things, there was a question in the chat box earlier where someone had asked, do we ever do live events? We actually do have one booked. We are doing a live event right here in Ottawa. We have limited seats. We haven't announced it yet, and I think we're almost sold out. Actually, it's just been so popular. Vladdy's telling everyone she knows, like, you've got to be here, you got to be here. And so anyways, we will be announcing that. So the dates of that event is October 27, 28 in Ottawa. We'll send out some details very likely next week. I think, Roddy, we'll get our heads around that and get that organized. But Roddy put the link in there for you to book a strategy call with Vladdy or Annie if you want to talk to them further. Now, Annie, I was blessed to meet just a few short years ago, actually, and another beautiful woman of amazing transformation within a relatively short period of time. And I met Annie through Bob Proctor's organization, actually, and she was a consultant, a coach, you know, mentoring people. She's going to be doing that with Dynamic Destinies as well. And one of the things that Annie shared with us in a recent call was that prior to getting involved in this work, she was a substitute teacher, but not trained as a substitute teacher. And so your life has transformed in many ways in a relatively short period of time. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So my journey started in 2018, I believe. Yeah. When I came across, of course, Bob Proctor, The Secret, Vision Lakhani, Wayne Dyer. Back then, the YouTube was the new thing, and you would listen to these, like, for me, I thought gurus or whatever they were. And I started entertaining the idea that, oh, there's something missing. You know, all my life, I felt like I was different. I had everything that I wanted, the husband, the kids, the house, the perfect little life, my little hometown. But I always felt like there was always something missing within me. And until I discovered Bob Proctor and you, of course, and all those people. And I started listening to that, and I was studying it on my own. And I kept on listening to the videos, and I kept on, getting more. I was hungry for more, to know more, to study more, until one day it dawned on me that, okay, I know this stuff. I know that I could have more. I could be, a better version of me. But what was it that was holding me back from jumping on the other side? I knew this. I knew it's true. I believed in Bob. I believed in, the secret. So this is when I realized, okay, I know it, but I don't understand it yet, because my results would be different. So this is when I made my first decision to invest, of course, like Vladdy. And I went to my first seminar with, of course, with Bob back then. And that's when I discovered you as well, that weekend. And this is when I realized, okay, if I want more and I want to take action, I will need to get mentored by somebody that is going to show me step by step how to get there, and actually pull me a little bit, so I could have that strength on my own and transfer believing to me, so I could start believing it, that I could be there. And that's when I became a consultant back then. After that, well, my life changed. And you see there's no point of return. And when you said that earlier, and Vladdy, I was like, I remember being scared of that. I remember being so scared of taking the leap, because in my mind, I was still controlling my paradigm. And the thing was, if I dare to go there and become this woman I want to become, there's no point of return. Like, I can go back. So I have to keep growing into her. Right. And it was scary. And I still remember taking the decision. And that's when I said, okay, I either, go through that wall of, like, ball, we call it the terror barrier, but really it's not a terror barrier. I see it more as like the wall of success, because once you get on the other side,
Oh, I like that.
That's it. But so I had the choice. I go through it, or I go back to comfort, but I knew I wanted more, and there was no way I'm going back to comfort. Right. So I went through it. And Peggy, I tell my story to like Michelle, most of our clients right now on here, they know my story, where after that, I made the decision to get divorced. I quit my job as a substitute teacher. So many good things happened in my life since, but today I was inspired just to share that I look back just a year ago and who I was then. Like, my journey has been going on for 5 years now. But every time I look back, even 3 months ago, I'm a different version every time of myself.
Beautiful.
Every time. And when it comes to, studying, applying, it's so, so important, because you could have all that knowledge all you want, but if you don't do nothing with it, it's not going to be worth nothing.
So true.
About applying, talking the talk, walking the walk, just don't preach it, but like, just be it. And
yes.
I think that's the most important. And I actually myself, I realized in the last year as well, and the most for me important of all of this journey and who I became, or who I'm becoming, because I'm always becoming. I'm never going to be the best. There's no best version of me. I'm always going to grow. But I think it's the person we become.
Yes, absolutely true.
I became, and that I'm becoming.
True.
And I tell that to all my clients every morning, and I'm going to tell everyone, do this, practice this. And Peggy knows, I get up, and as soon as my feet touch the ground, before I get off the bed, the first thing I do is I ask guidance. And it's always, who can I serve and how can I serve them? All the time. And I make a decision right away. First thing in my morning, I make decisions. So my decision is, I'm going to have an amazing day, and I'm only going to accept and attract what I need to make this day amazing. That's it.
Absolutely. I love it. And that's one of the things that I love about you, Annie, is your spirit of service. And that's another reason why Annie became part of our team, because she's got her heart in the same place as Roddy and Vladdy and Kayla and myself. We're all here to serve people. You said so many great things. You said, in the beginning you got into this, you felt something was missing. There's nothing missing. There's nothing missing in any of us. It's really a discovery, right? It's discovering this greater and grander version of who we are. And it is a difference. You're absolutely right. The knowing knowing and the doing, right? The knowing and doing gap. And also you talk about results. It's like by their fruits, you will know them, right? That's why you want to find the mentors who have been there, done that. Like, that's why I get so excited about our programs, because I've been here, done that, you know, been through the challenges, right? Gone through the growth part of it. And now I just want to help everybody else grow. And you said growing into her. I love that. And then you said, be it. This is so good. And about decision, you know, it's like transformation begins the moment you make the decision, even though you may be up against that success wall, as you call it. I like that much better than the terror barrier. You might be up against the success wall, but just climb on over, baby, because it's so much better on the other side, right? So much better on the other side. You also mentioned something that reminded me of a quote that I heard from Bob years ago. It's better to step forward into growth than step back into safety. And you know what? There's no safety. There's no safety, because if you're going the other way, that's the dangerous place to be, a very, very dangerous place to be. And one other thing that I want to mention that Annie reminded me of before we go to your questions, because I know there's a number of people here that have questions and we definitely want to address them. Also, we do have a special bonus that I've created for you that Roddy's made available for you. It's called Speedy Manifestations, and it is going to be given to you. It's a gift that we've created in addition to this event. So Roddy's going to be putting the link in there in a little while. You got to stick around a little longer in order to get it, because there's always gifts in the end. There's always rewards, and it's the way it is in life, right? There's rewards. There's always rewards. And so what Annie reminded me of is a lesson that our mentor and friend, because Annie worked with Bob, you know, she worked in his employment for a while. And so she got to know him very well as well. And Bob Proctor used to talk about the person who is getting results and then the person who is not, the person who's struggling. And he used to say person A, person B. And he says, think of person A as the person who is struggling, they're in debt, they're in lack, they're unhappy, and the results are reflective of that. And then person B is the person who's prosperous, they're successful, they're happy, you know, their results are amazing. And he's like, what's the difference between these two, between person A and person B? And he said, person A is allowing their paradigms to control them. That's your beliefs. They're allowing their beliefs to control them, to control their thinking, to control their feelings, to control their life. Person B is taking control of their paradigms. They're making the decisions, right? They're deciding how their life, they're creating the paradigms that are only going to support them in the expression of what it is that they want to create in their lives. So thank you, Annie. That really prompted a lot of great and valuable lessons from today. So I really appreciate you. And thank you for being here with us and sharing.
Thank you. Just, you know, as Peggy said, what you just said, the last thing you said, that's perfect. Like, take control, because you are responsible. You may not be responsible for how you were raised or your background, but you're responsible for taking control and changing it. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so simple, right?
So
As Bob used to say, simple, but so misunderstood. Remember, it's like, I can hear him. I can hear his messages. I hear him all the time. As a matter of fact, I got an email today from a friend of mine who said that, and this friend of mine lives in San Diego, and she had a dream last night, and Bob came to her to deliver a message to me. And so it's like, wow, I'll tell you about it later, Vladdy and Roddy. Oh no, I told Roddy already. Annie, I didn't tell you. I'll tell you later. Okay. All right. Now, you guys have been really, really wonderful, and I'm grateful for the questions that you've been posting here on the right-hand side. Val has another great question, and I definitely want to address this. And then Sarah, I'm going to come up to you next, okay? So Val's question is, this is a beautiful question, and I can easily answer it. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think is the answer to this question? What's the best way to not let negative people affect your day? What do you think that is? What do you think is the best way to not let people negatively affect your day? I know you know. Val very likely knows. Yeah, Jane, it's as simple as that. Jane, you're absolutely right. Make a choice not to. Hey, Lauren's here. Good to see you, Lauren. All right. Yeah, me too, Lauren. Thank you. Make a choice not to. Send them love. Yeah, that's a good idea. Decide how you want to be. Definitely. Perception. Don't let it in. Absolutely. Pam, you're right about that. Choose. You're right, Lena. The way to not let people negatively affect your day is ask, what would I love? Yeah, that's a good one too. While they're talking to you, focus on what you'd love. That's right, Kevin. Nod and smile. That's good, Jamie. I like that. Yeah, isn't that interesting? That's right. Palesh, you're right. That's what I would say. Isn't it interesting? You would think that way. Just don't let it in. Absolutely. Stay away from them, says Lydia. You're right about that. Don't give them power, Lucy. You're so right. Love them. Be confident. Your life and leave them with a feeling of increase. Oh, that's beautiful, Michelle. Not surprised that you would say that either. You're always doing that, leaving people with the impression of increase, and need to decide that will not affect you. Absolutely true. There's another example. Annie was talking about decision. Roddy's nodding his head. Stand guard at your mind, says Collier. Definitely, Muriel, don't listen, right? Understanding and compassion. Well, I just let it go. I wouldn't get into it. And the less they say, and I know that's not what you're saying, the less you say, the better. Share a beautiful moment. I like that. That's sweet. Compassion for them. Keep positive. Love always wins. Give them a hug, smile and bless them. Yeah, that's beautiful. Send them love. Send them love. So that's exactly what I would say. I would just don't let it in. That would absolutely be words that would come out of my mouth. Choose what you're going to feel and what you're going to think. You're always in control of how you feel and how you think, always, in all ways. So you have a choice, and decide you're not going to let it in. So yeah, Melanie says, don't let their paradigm control you. That's a good one, Melanie. I like that. Excellent. Beautiful. Okay, Sarah, come on down. Let's bring her into the spotlight, and we'll set it up so that you can unmute now. There you are.
Hello.
Hello. It's good to see you.
So lovely to see you again. Oh, I've missed this.
We missed you.
Oh, so my question is, which program would you advise for me, Skipping Levels or your new program, MSI?
Entrepreneur, MSI Entrepreneur, MSI Author.
Yeah.
Well, that depends. It depends on, you see, MSI Entrepreneur, MSI Author is designed to show people how to create multiple sources of income. And if that's something that you would desire, then absolutely, that is a great program to be in. Skipping Levels is more of a generic mindset experience of quantum leaping yourself, where when we get into MSI Entrepreneur, what we're doing in there is we're talking about strategies. So we have 2-hour classes every week, and we're doing this over a period of 100 days. And it is essentially how to create these sources, how to make them available online, how do you build your presence, how do you market them, how do you price them, how do you name them, in different areas, like multiple ways that you can create sources of income. You don't have to have an idea to join. You don't have to have a business already. You don't have to be online. And another great thing is you don't even have to be desiring to create your name or yourself as the brand. You could actually create multiple sources of income without anyone even knowing who you are. So there's many ways of doing it. So what appeals to you the most based on what you want to accomplish?
I think probably Skipping Levels, because I've got the A Million in a Month program, which I've been going back through again recently. So get your program done, and because I'm in the middle of putting together my own program, I've also got the Complete Author, which I'm revisiting as well, because not just for myself, my daughter's written a book, and so yeah, I was looking for advice on that in terms of publishing or self-publishing. But yeah, that's another subject.
Self-publishing.
Self-publishing, not going to an author. She's been offered a publishing deal, and she'd get 25% royalties.
Oh,
is
it a traditional publisher? And who's marketing the book?
So they said they would market it. I think the name is Austin Macaulay Publishers.
I've never met a publisher on this earth that actually publishes books for authors. I'm not saying that they don't or that they won't, but maybe they will. Maybe they are. Maybe it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I mean, it could be a very unique deal. But
I mean, in terms of publishing, when you say publishing, I mean, they're printing it and getting it.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about marketing. You see, 95% of any book success is the marketing. It's the promotion.
Yeah. So they've got a marketing team, and they said they'll work closely with her on the marketing.
Okay, is she in charge of the marketing?
I don't know enough about it at this stage. I think it'd be a team effort, but they said they would work closely with the marketing team.
Do they want her to pay anything?
Yes.
Yeah, see, Esther just wrote here, there are a lot of hybrid publishings and their scams. I would never pay a dime to a publisher to publish my book unless it was a self-publishing company, and what they're doing is maybe layout, design, editing, cover, and things like that. You pay for that anyways, unless you're doing it yourself. But that's different. That's still self-publishing. But there are, Esther is right about that. There are a number of companies out there that are, they're just charging all kinds of money, and they want upfront money. And it's like, that's ridiculous, knowing what I know, and ridiculous sounds like a judgment, and I guess it is in a way, but it's just maybe not the best decision to go that route. I've got 20 books and I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and I've learned a lot about the this book industry, and what I've discovered is that and I have books published with publishers. McGraw-Hill published one of my books, Hay House published 4 of my books, Career Press published one of my books. I've had books published with publishers, but it's me that's done the marketing. I've been doing the marketing, even with Hay House. I mean, they did some. Hay House did more than what any other publisher would do. They were wonderful to work with. But now I would make a decision to self-publish, especially now, because it's a different world we live in today than where we were even 20 years ago. Very different world. I mean, you have exposure to 5 billion people online, and you're going to be responsible for doing the marketing anyway. So why would they get, a percent? Why would they get 75% of the royalties? She gets 25%. What would 100% sounds better to me.
Well, that's what I thought. I didn't really understand it, which is why I'm going back into your program. Because she was originally offered 15%, and they said, we'll up it to 25%, and, hope you appreciate what, that's a really good deal. So, and the fact they worded it like that put me off, because I think if somebody's saying to you, we're doing you a favor, I'm always a little bit, that's just that's my gut instinct kind of.
Good.
So I don't think she signed anything yet, but I do have I didn't want to put her off when I didn't know enough about it, because of my, I've got this feeling that it's not, it's got to be her decision, her choice. But they wanted £1,500, and then when she's finished paying it off, they go ahead and publish it and get it into books and online.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawn wrote, what about Judy O'Byrne? I'm working with her on my children's book and met her through Peggy's group. Judy's my sister.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, would Judy be open to me having a conversation with her?
Definitely. Yeah, I just saw her a little while ago out walking her dog. She's dating the guy next door.
Oh, wonderful.
I know, I hooked her up last year. She lives in another city. She doesn't even live here, but now she's next door.
Oh, fabulous. So could I perhaps email her? And
Judy at Hasmark, HASMARK publishing.com. Judy at Hasmark Publishing. Yeah, she's my sister, Dawn. You didn't know that? Yeah. So that's I got her into the business, actually.
I said to Abby, let me see if I can, have a conversation with Judy at Hasmark and sort of take it from there. Okay. So if I email her, brilliant. Oh, thank you, Peggy.
You're very welcome.
I digress then, but so I'm thinking maybe skipping levels, given that I've got the complete author program and the $1 million in a month, which has get your program done. Do you think skipping levels?
Absolutely. Perfect program. That's for those that want to have quantum leap.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, I'd love the Destiny coaches, but I'm taking it one step at a time. So, in terms of what I can manage at the moment.
There's some paradigms coming through right there. Here's the question you ask yourself. This is a lesson for everyone. What would you love? What would you love? You see, you've let go of the goal. You see, we give our Destiny coaches skipping levels. We give it to them. They're part of skipping levels when they become a Destiny coach. And if that's what you'd really love, I would get back over there, Sarah, and just see it done. See it done. Absolutely. Someone's saying link, please. It's skippinglevels.com or Destiny Coach or Coaches? DestinyCoaches.com, either one. Or you can talk to Vladdy or Annie. And Sarah, I know you've already been in lots of conversation with Vladdy, and she can definitely help you with that. But get back in harmony with what you'd really love, Sarah. We see you as a destiny coach. That's what we see, which means I'm also seeing you in skipping levels.
Thank you. I've missed you guys.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you,
Thank
Sarah.
you, Peggy. Thank you, team. Mwah. Love you.
We love you. All right. I do want to also, what was I going to say? Oh, Pam, thank you for the kind words. Pam said she's worked with Judy's team and really loved working with them. Thank you, Pam. Oh, look at that, Muriel. Judy is a great person. She is terrific. I'll have to tell Judy all these nice comments were coming in for her. She'll really appreciate that very much. Thank you. Can't go wrong with Judy, says Jamie. Oh, how sweet. That is so sweet. All right. Would anyone else love to be served right now? If not, that's okay. We can call it a wrap, and we'll give you the speedy manifestations gift that we have for you. We're very, very happy to do that. And I'm going to ask Roddy where's Roddy? Let me find Roddy. I got to go back to my version where there we are. Roddy thought maybe I'm going to get away with not having to go into the spotlight today, right, Roddy?
Always expect the unexpected in the best possible way with yourself, Peggy. I'm always ready.
I love that about you. Absolutely love that. That's amazing. You're amazing. All right. So everyone, I want to introduce you to Roddy Telfer if you haven't met him already. And I'm pretty sure anyone that touches Dynamic Destinies in any way knows who Roddy is, because he is, when I meet him, I'm gonna have to check to see if he's human. He is amazing, absolutely incredible, amazing, and a gift, absolute gift in my life. I attracted him into my life a number of years ago, actually, when Roddy joined one of my programs. And I got to know him. He'd been on the calls and asked questions. And maybe about a year and a half ago, I was looking to bring on someone on our team. And of course, as you already can tell, I'm certain that it's really important to me that we have the right people in place in this organization, people that come from to be of service, serving you, because that's what I'm here for. So I only want to attract people that are in harmony with that, and that have a loving heart, a giving heart, that they're not looking at a role inside an organization as a job or as something that's they have to do and they just do the bare minimum. Roddy constantly surprises me, constantly over delivers. He is extraordinary. And so I'm so grateful to serve with him. And his understanding is also, I'm sorry, someone's calling you hot, Roddy.
Wow.
And
called it all today.
He's from Scotland. He's from Edinburgh, Scotland, if you can tell by his accent. But Roddy, tell us a little bit about your growth. Like what occurred for you? What attracted you to these materials in the first place? And what's occurred for you since you've been involved?
Yeah, I appreciate the warm words. Thank you so much, Peggy. And I do learn from the best in yourself as well. So massive gratitude towards yourself too. Yeah, it was probably, I've been in the materials now for probably around about the last 6-7 years, kind of properly. The results kind of fully started to manifest itself probably around about a year ago, just as you're saying there. Very unexpectedly, very not what I was expecting at all. My whole big goal around a year ago was just to get out the 9-to-5 rat race. That was where I was. It was in a job which I didn't particularly enjoy. It wasn't something that I wanted to do any longer. And I wanted to start earning more money. I wanted to have more free time. I wanted to start doing and designing and having a life that was fulfilling and enjoyable. And the kind of 9-to-5 rat race was just not ticking any of these boxes at all for me. And there's probably tons of people on this call here just now that resonate with what I'm saying. And again, this stuff does work. I really want everybody to know this on the call. It does work. In my Power Life script, which we've talked a lot about today, I had that I was going to be working with Peggy, we were going to be good friends. and that we were going to be co-delivering programs like this. Like, it was exactly written like that. And like I say, it came from a Facebook post that Peggy put up. It was when I was working as well. Probably shouldn't say that now for my 9-to-5 job. She put the post up. It probably was up there for 10 minutes maximum, if you're lucky. She was looking for a bit of help. She was looking for a little bit of assistance on the back end. I noticed it. It was down. I thought the opportunity potentially had gone. I got in touch with Vladdy, whom I knew, who she'd been involved with Peggy for a little bit longer. And the next minute was on a call, just like this, one-to-one with Peggy. And the rest is history in terms of the 9-to-5 job. So it happened so quickly, so unexpectedly. But the reason it happened was because I started to take my learning, the material seriously. I was listening to the Power Life script over and over and over again. You know, I wasn't just dabbling in the materials, I was taking it seriously. And I had that strong desire for change. So that really was, for me, the Power Life script. I owe so much to it, which thankfully, Peggy, you managed to really facilitate that whole movement and change in my life, which I'm so grateful for.
I love it. I love it. You know, Roddy, you said something that reminds me of a quote that I actually had in the presentation today. And I'm going to find it and share it with everyone. It's a quote by Earl Nightingale. And he said this, he said, "Strange and marvelous things will happen with constant regularity as you alter your life and begin living in harmony with the laws of the universe." And what that really speaks to is the truth that you don't have to know how you're going to accomplish it, but you have to feel as if it's in your life, right? Strange and marvelous things will begin to occur. And I think about, I went on Facebook to do a post to attract someone into our organization. And I put it up there and I thought, no, you know, I got to take it down. I just didn't feel like putting it there. Well, Vladdy saw it, and Vladdy reached out to Roddy to let him know that it was there. And then Vladdy reached out to me to say that Roddy was, you know, saw the post and that he was interested. It's like, oh my goodness, I know Roddy, he's perfect, you know, absolutely perfect. And so Roddy he was working in that 9-to-5, as he said, rat race. A lot of people are there, and maybe you're there now, and maybe that is something. I like what Jonah wrote in the chat box. She said that she's very happy and grateful to be our first Destiny coach in Portugal. And I love that. And I love Portugal as well. I'd love to come visit you, Jonah. It's such a beautiful country. And so the truth is this, that when you decide on what you're going to create in your life, you will attract it when you live in harmony with it. And that's what Earl Nightingale said, you live in harmony with the universe. And what that means is you feel it. You feel it. And that's why we created there we go. Roddy just put the link for you right there. Here's your Speedy Manifestations bonus. And so he got that ready for you this morning. He did such an amazing job. It's right there, and you'll be able to access it. There's the link on the right-hand side on the chat box. And I do want you to know this, when the event is over, yes, we recorded it. Yes, Roddy, and it's evening. I mean, he's in Scotland and it's evening. He's had a busy week this week, and he will be posting the replay for you by the end of the day tomorrow. I'm not going to commit to him doing it today because it is Friday evening where he's at right now. But what I want to say is that we had said to everyone, get on the call, because the way that you're going to get the bonus is by being on the call. And you know why? Because rewards are when you show up. You know, rewards are when you show up. And a part of success is showing up. And that's what you did today. You showed up, and we are so grateful for it. So thank you, Roddy. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for doing that. And thank you for serving with us and doing it in such an incredible, exceptional way. You truly are extraordinary. And so are all of you. You know, you're all extraordinary. You all have enormous power. I did notice one of the comments in the right-hand side on the chat box that flew by was from someone who had mentioned that they had joined the call and they were crying over bills. And I hope you're on the call when I was talking about a very valuable lesson that I had learned many years ago. And that is, don't cry over anything that won't cry over you. And that certainly includes bills, because bills won't cry over you. So it also means that when you're sad, or you're upset, it means you're out of alignment with what you desire. And so you want to get into habits of, breaking the habits of the negativity, or breaking the habits of being in a place of destruction, because that's really what it is. It's not a judgment. It's just an observation. When you're not feeling good, when you're not feeling happy, or you're not feeling on the positive side of life, you're in destruction mode. Worry, doubt, fear, negative, destructive, frustration. That all that does is it's just like pouring poison on top of your dreams. And so you want to stay away from that. It doesn't mean that you won't, but what you want to be consciously aware of is what are the dominant feelings that you are expressing, because the dominant feelings that you're expressing is going to determine what is being drawn back to you. And that's why Earl said strange and marvelous things will begin to occur. And strange and marvelous things do begin to occur. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. And so you've really got to get great at conditioning your consciousness through space-time repetition by being in the study, by joining us, by being in Club Achieve, being in Skipping Levels, being an MSI Entrepreneur, being in a regular study. I went from program to program to program to program, constantly learning and expanding my awareness, because it was like the golden Buddha. I knew there was something powerful inside. I knew there was something that was valuable that's inside, and that's what's inside you. There's something more for you. There's something that's calling you, and that's your destiny. That really is what it is. And so listen to it, heed it, and follow through, and make sure that you continue to invest in yourself, and continue to stay in the study and apply as well. It's like Vladdy had said, without the application, you're not going to experience the positive change. So I think we're going to call it a wrap for today. And I want to thank you all for being here. It's absolutely our pleasure to serve you. And and there you go. There's the link again for the Speedy Manifestation. You are very welcome. On behalf of my team, thank you so much. I want to thank Vladdy. I want to thank Roddy, and thank Annie for being here. I really appreciate you guys. You're such a blessing. You're such a blessing in my life, and a blessing in everyone.
I would like to take a minute to express
please.
my gratitude towards you, and gratitude towards all you always deliver all the time, no matter what. If you're sick, if there's adversity, you always deliver the greatest messages. Thank you so much.
You're so sweet. I really appreciate you. I don't know if you guys knew why we moved the event from Monday to Friday, but I had food poisoning. Actually, I've been dealing with it all week. So any of our Club Achieve members, you're wondering where I was yesterday. I was feeling pretty under the weather. It hit me pretty hard. And so even yesterday with MSI Entrepreneurs, like, the show's going to go on, baby. And Annie just got back from being out west, and her partner came down with COVID. She's not accepting it as an, her and I were really great support.
I'm not rejecting the idea.
I'm rejecting it, rejecting the idea. No, we feel fantastic. I feel wonderful, even though we're vomiting, whatever. Anyways, it's just a great growth experience. So thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I feel fantastic. I feel 100%.
I just wanted to mention, because, you know, you give it all with all your art, and it comes from a place of humbleness, and you're always just being you. And I just, yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I
Everyone on
really
the call
appreciate you.
would agree with that as well.
Really kind of you, Annie. Thank you so much. It just puts tears in my eyes. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Okay, put the link in. We'll just stay on a couple more minutes. We won't shut it down. And we'll put the link in again. There you go. It's been pasted in there 3 times now. And just make sure you click on that link before it goes flashing by. But you can scroll down or scroll up, and you'll be able to find it again. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. Happy manifesting, everyone. I'm not going to close the room. I'm just going to close off my